Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're analyzing a really high-stakes imagined conversation. It's basically a philosophical cage match.
It really is.
We're pitting the cold rationality of Albert Camus
The prophet of the absurd himself.
against the quiet, enduring hope of Andy Dufresne.
And it's a fantastic setup, you know. You've got Camus leaning against a cell wall, smoking with that French coolness. And then there's Andy, just calmly shining his shoes.
Right. So our mission here is to distill their completely conflicting ideas of salvation and freedom.
When everything is taken away, what's the truest path out?
Okay, so let's start with the big philosophical divide here.
Right.
The walls of the cell.
For Camus, those stone walls, they aren't just physical restraint.
No.
They represent the true nature of existence. They are the absurd.
That unavoidable conflict between us searching for meaning and, well, the universe's total silence.
And Andy just rejects that instantly. What's so fascinating is his counterargument.
He says the cell isn't the real prison.
Exactly. The real confinement is losing hope in that one untouchable thing inside.
He used that famous line, salvation lies within. So he's defining his prison not by the stone.
But by his own interior commitment to hope.
And this is where we get to the tool. The gap between the spiritual and the physical.
The hammer.
Camus zeroes right in on it.
Yeah.
He sees Andy using the Bible, this text of, spiritual illusion, to hide the hammer.
The actual tool of physical freedom. It's the ultimate cynical read, isn't it?
It is.
He sees the Bible as just a hollow box, a way to smuggle power. He argues the true salvation is just pure human action.
The hammer in the hand.
Right. He sees Andy trying to smuggle a meaningful life inside a completely meaningless universe.
But Andy challenges that.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't saying that all spiritual texts are just hollow boxes of philosophy of its own.
Good point.
Andy says, you see it as an illusion, I see it as a map. He argues that the belief, the meaning it provided.
That was absolutely necessary.
It was necessary to endure the smell of the sewage and to keep that distant shore, Zihuatanejo, real in his mind.
Without the map, the walls truly would be the end of the world.
And that idea of enduring brings us to the cost of waiting.
Which for Camus is everything. He believed hope breaks the neck.
So for him, true rebellion is Sisyphus.
Exactly. You accept your meaningless destiny, the rock always falling, and you choose to live fiercely without needing some heavenly story to justify it.
But Andy really questions if that raw, isolated will is enough.
He does.
He suggests that path, well, it leads to the fate of Brooks.
The institutionalized man who couldn't live outside the prison structure.
Willpower alone, detached from a hopeful destination, it just turns inward and destroys you.
Precisely. And Andy saw his acts of defiance, like playing the music and the art. He didn't see that as mere rebellion against the system. He saw it as a light, a kind of touch of applied divinity.
He was proving there's more than just a structure, and that external focus helped him keep his internal composure.
And this difference, it all comes down to that final symbolic placement.
Camus would argue the true salvation was the hammer in Andy's hand. Personal power, pure determination.
And Andy insists it was arrangement. He says it wasn't a coincidence that the hammer was hidden in the book of Exodus. For him, that specific detail elevates the escape. It's not just personal will, it's a process aligned with a greater story of deliverance.
The map of belief made the physical act of freedom possible.
Exactly.
So for you listening, we've really distilled two very different paths for dealing with confinement, with suffering. You have Andy's path finding meaning and light to sustain your endurance.
Or you have Camus' path, accepting meaninglessness and asserting your own radical individual will.
But Camus leaves us with a truly chilling final warning, doesn't he?
He does. A warning for that hopeful ending. He suggests that even when you reach your Zihuatanejo, your sunny shore, you might just carry the heaviest part of the prison inside you if you still depend on a meaning provided by the heavens.
And that raises a really important question for all of us.
What's the heavier burden to carry? The fight to find meaning, or the fight to live rigorously without one?